As you know, today, the federal government announced that it will not be supporting the majority of the amendments to Bill C-69 put forward by the Senate committee, by the Senate in full. This is the Bill C-69 is Trudeau's No More Pipelines bill. To say that this is disappointing is an understatement. In fact, it's completely unacceptable. These amendments were put forward by the Senate after traveling right across the country, spending thousands of hours hearing from people. These amendments came from provinces, they came from First Nations, they came from industry associations, and they came from job creators. It took the Senate 187 amendments to try to even fix this bill. This bill was so pathetic. And yet the federal government refuses to listen to all of these voices and the countless concerns of Canadians. It is determined to drive this bill through the House of Commons, threatening national unity. One of the reasons for the prolonged economic stagnation in Alberta is the flights of tens of billions of dollars in capital, primarily from our oil and gas sector. Bill C-69, without the 187 amendments, will only drive investment away further. And when Alberta's economy suffers, Canada's economy suffers. This bill is not just about Alberta. This bill is not just about the oil and gas sector. This bill is about Canada, and it's about whether Canada is a place where projects can get done, and whether Canada is open for business and wants to see continued investment that fuels prosperity in this country. Now, the C.D. Howe Institute estimates that 36 projects worth $77 billion have already been canceled. Just imagine what $77 billion could do. And yet, this federal government is prepared to chase away even further capital. So let me be clear. There are about 533,000 jobs in this country created by the oil and gas sector. And those jobs, each and every one, is put in jeopardy because of Bill C-69. This bill would cripple not only the oil and gas sector, but the entire Canadian economy. It's so bad that 6 premiers from across the country, representing 60% of the national population, wrote a letter, a joint letter to the Prime Minister over the weekend, encouraging him to accept all 187 amendments to this bill. That advice was ignored, flagrantly ignored, and the Prime Minister went so far as suggesting that those premiers were risking national unity. We say that bill is what is risking national unity. So we reiterate this call today. We've said it before and we'll say it over and over and over again, that bill is unacceptable. The only way that bill should be passed is with each and every one of those amendments. We'll continue to stand up for Alberta jobs, we'll continue to fight for our energy sector, and we will defend Alberta's energy sector. And if that means filing a constitutional reference, if that bill is to pass, that will happen, and it will happen immediately.
It's a very dark day for Canadian energy, for the Canadian economy, and for Canadian jobs, jobs that are no different than SNC-Lavalin jobs or GM jobs, jobs that it is our job to champion. And frankly, the contempt and the hostility that we saw yesterday to our efforts to support this sector by the Prime Minister was frankly breathtaking. Prime Minister Trudeau once said famously that no country would find 173 billion barrels of oil in the ground and leave it there. But what we see today is that clearly that's where it's headed.
Make no mistake about it. This bill creates significant unpredictability around Canada's resource development. It creates less efficient and unworkable framework around project approval and regulatory review. And it acts to stifle competitiveness in a critical Canadian sector. The Government of Ontario recognizes the importance of safeguarding the environment, but we know we can achieve this in a way that supports Ontario's competitiveness, that supports Saskatchewan and Alberta's competitiveness, and ultimately this great country of Canada's competitiveness.